Let them come.
Hey everyone, this is Bliss98, and here are all my Rise of the Beast builds now that I'm done with the project. I want to thank you all for following me on this journey, and if you're new here, each of these 13 builds has its own individual video where I show off the transformation and all the little details. So there'll be a link to the Rise of the Beast playlist in the description below. In addition, you can build everything you see here using my free PDF instructions on Rebrickable. There's a link to my Rebrickable page below. And yeah, I don't recommend building all these guys because I think they're going to cost quite a lot. I never really fully calculated that, but I know that the 4 maximals were at least $200. So you might save money and your sanity by actually just buying the Studio Series toys, to be honest. But if you do want LEGO versions of these characters, the option is there. And that is it for this portion of the video. I'm just going to keep talking about like behind the scenes and other things if you want to stick around. Rise of the Beast was a third Transformers movie where I tried to make builds near the release of the movie. The other two would be Bumblebee in 2018 and The Last Knight in 2017. And I genuinely enjoyed the movie. I think it's definitely at the top of the live action movies for me. I don't like it as much as the 07 movie, but I had a lot of fun, especially with the focus on more of the robot characters, as well as there was also a ton of missed opportunities, of course, especially with the Maximals. As you see here, I made 13 characters from the movie that all transform. I'm not counting the mini Freezer and Novocaine I made because those are just little figures that are accessories for Scourge. And I think I did a good job trying to cover the major characters in the movie, especially from each faction. Of course, this is far from every character in the movie, and I could honestly just keep going and making them, but right now I'm feeling quite burnt out, and I would like to move on to some more different projects. And also, the movie hype is kind of dead at this point, since it's been almost a year since the movie came out. And it's also been almost exactly a year since I started working on these guys. I started Mirage back in March of 2023, so I think 1 year for this project is a very good stopping point for me. And of course I could just list the characters I've missed, and I don't have any plans to make any of these anytime soon. But here we go. We have Stratosphere, Ape-Link, Scorponok, plus any of his repaints. The Terracon drones, of course Unicron, which he didn't really show his full form in the movie. And for the cutscenes we have Transit, of course, and lots of concept characters like Bloodhound and some of the Beast Wars ones. If I were to push myself to make 1 or 2 builds, I think I would just go with Scorponok and the Terracon drones, just so I can have all the characters that were present in the final battle. And also, I never got around to making minifigures of Noah and Elena, especially the exosuit version of Noah. And oh yeah, I also forgot, for Mirage, of course, I could also make his like Lambo and garbage truck and various forms. But I think it's a good stopping point for me, of course. Maybe you'll see these guys in the future. Probably not, though. I think I would want to move on from Rise of the Beast for now. Just because I didn't make a character, of course, that doesn't mean you can't. And I think it'll be interesting to see someone retool my Primal into Ape-Link, or just mess around with any of these builds to create their own original characters or whatever. And I tried to make everybody to scale roughly. Freezer is probably the odd one out because I made him way before the movie came out. But for Mirage and Prime, I had a lot of trouble figuring that out since the movie wasn't out also, and I relied heavily on those real-life statues they put out for promoting the movie. For the Autobots, we have Optimus Prime, of course, then Wheeljack, Bumblebee, Mirage, and RC. And I think my most popular builds for this movie, once again, are Prime and Bumblebee. For the Terracons, we have Scourge, Battletrap, Nightbird, and Big Freezer. Finally, we have the Maximals with Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, and Airraiser. One thing about these builds that I thought was fun was I got to work with a lot of unique colors, especially the medium nougat. You see a Nightbird, Cheetor, and Wheeljack, as well as a magenta on Nightbird and the flame yellow-orange on Battletrap. And it's always a challenge to figure out what parts are available, but medium nougat is fun to work with. And these 3 builds taught me a lot more about using LEGO Technic, as I've been trying to incorporate it more and more, especially the larger ball joints in my builds for added strength. And one of my favorite aspects is, of course, is Scourge's entire leg section and how it's all a big Technic frame with this big click joint. Here are my top 5 builds in no particular order from this movie. I think Scourge would be my overall favorite just because of how much I was able to fit into him. And I can't get over this light brick gimmick you see here. If you were curious, these guys don't really scale with my Bayverse builds. The Bayverse counterparts are supposed to be a lot bigger here, but that might mean that my Rise of the Beast builds are really close to minifigure scale. Here is with my Prime, who's missing tons of parts, and Ironhide. That's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed all these Rise of the Beast builds here and following my journey making all of them. And if you're new here, make sure to check out their individual videos in the playlist below. And of course, check out their instructions too if you want to build any of these guys. I think build-wise, the most build-friendly ones would either be Freezer, RC, or Cheetor. But yeah, that is it. And I'm not sure what I'll be making next. I haven't made any prototypes or anything yet. But I think I'll take a long break, especially from Transformers, as these guys have really burnt me out to the point where I wasn't sure if I was going to make the Maximals, but luckily they turned out to be pretty simple and very fun. So I'll see you guys later. And as for these guys, I unfortunately do not display them, so they go straight into a box for storage for now. Don't worry, you'll see these guys around soon. I hope I can go to a convention and display all of them.